So you're reminding me of a conversation we had maybe a year or two ago with, I think his name is Jason Williams. And he talked to Jason Wilson, I believe. And he talks about in his book about men crying. And he came on the show and he blew my mind because at one point he was talking about the power of tears. And he was like, when your body is crying and your body is wounded in some way, those tears contain like, and I'm not going to say it the way he said it because, he's an expert, but it was like basically all the biochemical ish in your body that is causing you to have this sad feeling. When you cry, it is a cleansing process. It's not just a display of what you are feeling. It is actually providing a biochemical reaction or a process for your body to engage in that is a stress relieving process. And he completely blew me away. He said it far more articulately than I just did. But when I think about that, the power of tears, the power of crying, and again, if I'm in a sister circle and something happening, I'm crying. Like I'm gonna cry, we gonna cry together. I might not even be the one upset or hurt, but if my sister friend is hurting and crying, we gonna cry together. It's gonna be snot and tissue for everybody because that's what we do in those spaces. And I feel such hurt for Black men that they don't have that in large capacity. I feel such a sense of loss for how this impacts the village, that Black men don't have access to that in many ways. And so, of course, I'm grateful for groups like yours, but I'm wondering if you can help us sort of figure out at this vantage point, whether you are 6 years old or 60, if you've been sort of enculturated to approach manhood in this way and to approach mental health support with this sort of disdain that seems to be sort of common throughout our community. How do we teach something different? How do we teach Black boys to be comfortable enough with their feelings to express it? How do we teach Black men, again, 6 to 60 or 90, whatever it is? Shout out to my grandfather. So, how do we change that paradigm? I'm not clear as someone who cares about this issue. I'm not even clear that even in my own household, we're doing as good a job as we could do with how we're raising our son to be more expressive. What would you advise for those of us in the village who want the village to heal when it comes to making room for Black men to have the freeness and the space to grow in this area?
I would definitely encourage, especially parents, Black parents, to encourage their kids to openly discuss how they feel and do not shy away from that. Do not, when you see your kid going through a tough time, or when you see them crying, or when you see them angry about something, dig into why they are upset or why they may be angry about something. That
Well, how do I do that when the child is like, "Oh, I'm not mad. I'm fine. I'm okay." How do we do that?
we can do that by,
Short
allowing
of
them.
calling you.
We can do that by, allowing them to journal about how they may feel. Some kids aren't necessarily
Mm,
the best communicators. They may not be able to identify, hey, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling insignificant, or anything like that at
mm,
school. So, okay, write about how you feel, draw a picture about how you feel, and describe to me why you feel that way. So that way it's not necessarily, okay, well, this is how I feel, and this is the exact feeling and the exact emotion that I'm going through.
mm.
And it's a expressive art. So some kids may really benefit from that, just being able to express themselves in that way. um Goodness, journaling is a really good one. Whew. I would say
See,
those.
I think we need a session for parents because we parents, we be struggling, brother. They be
uh,
like, "How are you doing? Fine. How was school? Good. What was good about it? I don't know." Like that's sort of like, okay, well, welcome back.
it's also
So,
different. It's different questions that we can ask too. Like, what was the best part of your day? What was the worst part of your day? What was the day where
mm,
you felt proud of yourself? What was a part of your day where you felt like you could have done better? We can ask that, on a daily basis. We can ask that on a
huh.
weekly basis. There's a self-esteem journal that I can definitely send over to you guys, and you guys can spread with your listeners. But it really goes into literally a day by day in terms of, today I felt proud when I did this. Today I felt
Mm,
powerful when I was able to accomplish this. And the highlight of my day was this. And it allows a kid
mm,
to really look back and say, okay, well, wow, I had a good day today. How can I kind of repeat those same patterns? And if that was, I got an A on my test today, but I know I studied my what off, maybe I need to
right.
continue down that same cycle, and so I can recreate that same good feeling over and over and over again, and make my parents happy
Mm.
while I'm bringing home these good grades too, right?
I mean, that's definitely one way to lessen stress in one's life is to do that work. How did you guys get started? Minds in Motion Therapy. This seems like a dream job for a black male therapist, really for any therapist, but you all are a all black male group. Almost look like an R&B group when I look at your pictures. Like, how did this get started? And who are you one of the founders? Like, give us the backstory here, because not only do we need you all to exist where you exist, we need other people to take the goodness that you're putting in the world and systematize it and spread it into other places. So what's the backstory here?
Yes. So Dr. Mason was the founder of Minds in Motion Therapy, and he just got it started when the pandemic kicked off. So literally
Wow.
2 months prior to the pandemic kicking off, he got the building, but literally a few months later it got shut down, and he's like, okay, well, we just have to just go completely virtual. So with
Yeah.
that, that is us seeing clients on a day-to-day basis, that's us doing speaking engagements, that is us working with organizations and a wellness, and that's a mentoring factor with organizations, with other clients that we may have, and it's also the therapeutic aspect of it as well. So
Mm.
it's a great foundation. I literally just started working, or I got on board in October of this year, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made to be able to be surrounded
Wow.
by these intelligent, amazing black males who are encouraging each other to, um, you know, go on to the next level of your life, whether
Mm.
that is you developing on a personal level, whether that is you developing at an occupational level and a career level. It's pushing your brother to do so, and then giving them the confidence to do it, giving them the
Wow.
tools and the skills to do it. So I tell them every time, I absolutely love having conversations with you guys. I love meeting up with you guys because I always walk away feeling so empowered, feeling so
Mm.
affirmed that I am in the right space for me, not only for me personally,
Wow.
but my career as well. And it's been literally one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
I'm just gonna say that while you probably did not know this, we every day we do a moment of gratitude here on this show, and we find something that can help us to be rooted in a sense of joy or gratitude or appreciation. I call those our superpowers. And today, one of the points was to find it was finding yourself as an act of love, expressing it as an act of rebellion. And it seems to me that you all are collectively doing that. You're creating space where you're able to, as individual practitioners, find yourself, help your clients find themselves, and then doing so in a way that is a radical expression of self love. And I think that is absolutely amazing. So let's move from the childhood context a little bit. Let's say I'm a grown ass man, and me and my grown ass man friends, we sitting in a room, we gonna play PlayStation, we gonna go to the gym, we gonna do those malehood things. But we all know that as grown ass men, that a lot of times you could play hours of PlayStation and never once have a conversation that goes beneath the surface. So there's that, right? If I'm in that situation and I got this group of grown ass men, we've been riding for 50, 11 years. We've got each other's back. If you need money, I got you. If you need a shoulder to cry on, I might not ever know, but that's okay. But let's say I want to inject a little bit of this awareness of mental health as an issue into the group that I am affiliated with, into my friendship group, into the group of my boys, whatever you want to call them.
Mhm,
My limitations on imitating black men have been reached. But if I'm in that space,
mhm,
what do I do? How do I start this in a conversation? I don't want to be called, oh, you acting real, fill in the blank of what you all know would be said. How do I get this started if I'm not a kid? We don't have no parents there to help monitor and supervise us, but I'm just with a group of brothers who I spend hours with on a regular basis, and I want more depth to that relationship. How do I
mhm.
do that?
I think it starts with just having that conversation, that last sentence that you just had, in terms of I
Mm,
want more depth in these relationships. I don't want it to just be a, hey, are you online? Let's play 2K real quick. Hey, you want to go to the
right.
gym real quick? Hey, you want to go play basketball? No, let's actually dig a little bit deeper in terms of, hey, how are you feeling? Like, you good? I can see that your mood has changed a little bit over the last couple of days. Like, I'm
Mm,
here to actually talk with you. I'm not just your gym brother. I'm not just your 2K brother. I'm actually your brother. So that means that
mm,
just as much as, I would like to open up to you, I need the exact same thing reciprocated. And it's us just being able to be open and show that vulnerability, but it takes the entire group. So If one
Mm,
person is able to say, hey, I can't lie to y'all, I've been going through this with my girlfriend, I've been going through this with my parents, I've been going through this with my at my job, and I'm really stressed out, I don't even know what to do next. We're not
mm,
necessarily looking for an answer or advice. We may just be looking
right.
for an event. We may just be looking, like you talked about, that sister circle. We're not saying all of us may be in a group crying or anything like that, but we may just, hey, brother, I'm here for you, man. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Do you want me to, do we need to go out a little bit more and just have more time to talk? Like, is that something that
Mm,
you do? Like, do we need to maybe take a vacation? Do we need to kind of just step away from all of this? Do we need to, goodness, go out to lunch? Do we need to do anything? Do we need to increase the those in-depth conversations? Do we need to increase the time that we're spending together, and not just
mm,
doing more 2K or doing more basketball, but do we
right.
actually have to talk about things? And you'll be
Huh.
surprised at how much healing can be done just by getting everything off of your chest. So many of
Mm,
us are just holding on to so much pain and anger that that's the only way we know how to function. So we wake up angry because we're still dealing with some stuff that we haven't dealt with from years ago. So us
wow.
being able to, release that pain, it's very therapeutic and it's very, very helpful. Ooh, and I'm
Now,
sorry.
I'm as we're having this conversation, I'm following one of the chats that I absolutely love and adore, and someone's sharing a story about one of their male friends who went to a therapist, and the therapist was like, basically told him your problems are X, Y, and Z, and it was like basic, like, and the friend was like, you need to go to a therapist for that, so talk with us about sort of what the goal of a good therapy session is. Is it for you to get a solution to your problem? Is it for you to get some insight that perhaps you did not have? Is it just for you to vent and get it off your chest? What should be realistic goals for coming out of a healthy therapy session?
I think everyone that goes into therapy should have some goals that they would like to accomplish when they go in, once they start, whether it is, hey, I want to learn better communication skills with my partner, whether it's I want to be able to overcome some of these previous childhood traumas, whatever the case may be. But one of my great supervisors that I work for told me that as therapists, we are seen as process consultants, as in we are here to
Mm,
help guide you through this process in the best way possible. So,
mm,
in order for us to do that, you have to open up, we have to open up and just be honest. So, in terms of the goals, it really depends on the individual coming into therapy.
mm.
Depending on what their goals are, depending on what some of their issues may be, then that's a direction that we choose to go in.
I like this process consultants because if you're consulting me on my process, I'm not looking to you for the solution. I'm looking to you for guidance to make sure that I am going to reach the solution in as healthy a way as possible. That's a good phrase. We should have that on a therapy T-shirt so y'all can just process consultant. That's what therapy equals. I really appreciate the fact that you all have been able to carve out this space. I think it's so important, and I have been saying, and I am of the opinion, and I have yet to be convinced otherwise, that there's really no freedom for us unless we are going to do things for ourselves. We could scream all day about the lack of Black therapists, or we could just create some therapy spaces where Black therapists can gather, and then like there they are, right there. And when it comes to creating these sorts of solutions for ourselves, I just believe that it's going to be on us. We're going to have to rely on our gift, skills, and talents. And you all have a really powerful model for what that can look like in an arena where we just simply do not see a whole bunch of folks who look like you. How can people follow Minds in Motion Therapy? How can they reach out to you if they want to secure services? Are you guys only working in Maryland? Give us the parameters of the work that you do.
We do work in Maryland and in DC. If anyone is interested in therapy services, please log on to mindsinmotiontherapy.org. We have an Instagram page at minds underscore in underscore motion underscore therapy. Um, Goodness gracious, there's so many other links that we have. We have Another link on Instagram, Color My Mind CO. We also have
Mm.
brownbrothers.cmm on Instagram, colormymind.co as well. We have a lot of things going on in the website, a lot of things that come in 2023. So if you guys are interested in therapy services, you can also find me on Instagram at I am Michael Barnett. We have a lot of new things that we are super excited for coming in 2023. So please be on the lookout for us and engage and interact with us whenever you can.